Okay, and talk to me, or you want to read at gmail.com. Okay, um, I do talk to the spirits, sending me messages. They've been sending me songs all day, and they want me to dance to get exercise. Let me tell you, you get old, you don't feel like doing that, but you really do have to exercise, or you can forget how to walk. Friend who just, we don't know why, but he kind of decided he didn't want to walk anymore. And he stopped. So he's in a wheelchair. Okay, but that's not our story. And I was going today, unless somebody has a question for me, and I don't know. Let's see if anybody's on here yet. Okay. I was going to talk about my marriage. I'm married to Harry, who is, see, let's see if Harry's going to come up. There he is. That's my husband. We've been married for 60 years. 60. We got married when we were very young. I was really ridiculously young, and I thought I would talk about that. We had a therapist. You need a therapist if you get married really young, because, two kids, which we were, aren't get along. You might get along at first. You might get along sexually, but otherwise, not so much, because you're kids, and kids want what they want, and nobody wanted to do the dishes. Nobody wanted to do things that weren't fun, clean. No. I mean, I was too young, and no, we were both too young. So it took, about 30 years for that to work its way up. Therapist said, you can be married to anyone, because you have to learn to get along with the person, and it's really difficult. You could do it with a stranger, you could do it with anybody. It's something that you learn to do. It helped. Well, it helped when I went to school. I went to school when I was 23. We had a daughter already, and Harry's brother told me what to do to knock down the wall in our house between the garage and the basement. And then he put in a sliding glass door for me. And I knocked down that wall. I love to do that stuff. It was so much fun. And I did the floor, put this floor down. Oh, big. Easy things I could do then, not now. I couldn't do it now. But it helped a lot. It helped if you have enough room, so that when you disagree and you start arguing, instead of having it escalate because you start arguing with each other, and that you didn't do it right, you weren't looking, you weren't doing it right, didn't care enough to do it right. But oh my God, you can go on and on. So whenever you're fighting like that, if you have a place where you can go and not really hide, but get away from the other person, it helps a lot, because you can't have an argument. You can't talk. That's the thing. When you're arguing, you aren't able to have a conversation. You can't be honest and kind of humble when you're already arguing. It doesn't work like that. Your energy is still high, and you're still light. So I don't know what it's doing. I'm not having an easy time connecting. I'm doing this in the dining room of our house. So it's reconnecting, and I don't know what else it's doing, but it helped a lot when I go and when I was painting. Um, it also helped that my husband was he was a police officer in Philadelphia in the 1960s and 70s. Um, I know that a lot of you have had bad experiences with police more recently. He was not of that genre. He did not do any violent things with people who needed help or people who were having problems or people who were violent. He just wasn't like that. And he still is not like that. So his thing was, I mean, he went in the police department to help people. And he wrote poetry. And by the late 1970s, he spoke at all the colleges in the Philadelphia area, except for one. He never spoke at Penn, but he did speak at the other ones. He wrote for a small newspaper from North Philly for 35 years. He wrote articles. And at one place where he was speaking, we danced together. We went to dance school and we learned to do the, what do you call it? The what?
Tango?
Yeah, we learned to do the tango. Um, so that was a lot of fun. Now, well, a couple of years ago, he had cancer grow on his kidney, one kidney, and we went to the doctor down here in Delaware. Doctor did not want to operate. He said basically that's the way it is. There's nothing I can do. So he went to a surgeon in Philadelphia at Jefferson, and he said, I will operate, but I'm not sure I can save your kidney. I will try, but if I can't, I won't. Well, Harry would have died if he had not done anything. So the second surgeon tried. It turned out that the cancer was all around the kidney, and there was no way he could get it off of the kidney, and he had to take the kidney out. So after when Harry was supposed to come home, he needed to go to rehabilitation for a while. He'd been in the hospital for a while. Anyway, so they sent him to one of the nursing homes in Delaware. Nursing home wouldn't let him walk. He could be in a wheelchair, but they wouldn't let him do anything. He caught COVID. It was during the time that the shots were not out yet. So he caught COVID and struggled with that. Then he fell. And let's see. And after that, I think he went to the hospital again for something. And then I didn't want him to go back to the original nursing home. He was over the COVID, but it didn't feel safe at all. I mean, they were understaffed and they weren't coping well with COVID. So, and he couldn't eat the food. That was another thing. I was bringing him food every day. So he went to a different nursing home, still understaffed, couldn't eat the food, brought him food every day. Would they let him walk? No. He was in a wheelchair. At one point, he was throwing up all the time. And we asked, well, are you giving him his medicine for that? No, they weren't. That's why he was throwing up for days. Okay, so that went by. And then Well, first your not blood count, your numbers of your blood went all the way down. My daughter happened to call then that day. They told her, she's a nurse and a teacher. They told her the numbers, and she said, you got to get him to the hospital right away. Took him to the hospital. They took him to the hospital, and he needed blood, and he needed surgery because he was bleeding internally. Uh, let's see what else. Jeez, they sent him back, and we determined to get him home as quickly as we could. And we, at the first opportunity, we got him home. He's been home. Um, he's now, well, I think he had about 2 years. Is that right? Yeah, 2 years of life after, okay, so he had 2 years that he lived, which he wouldn't have had if they had, if he had gone along with no surgery. So he's here. Um, his one kidney is dying. He never ate according to the kidney diet. The kidney diet is basically only eat food that doesn't taste like food. It tastes like cardboard or paper, and then that's it. You'll be okay. Well, he wouldn't do it. So he's 80 now. One thing he wanted to do was he wanted to get to his 80th birthday, and he has. He passed that. He may get to 81. We don't know. But he is on hospice, and he's with me now. So we passed our 60th anniversary, which we didn't know if we were going to make or not, but we did. We live in this house that we picked out 18 years ago. We moved from Philadelphia we had 13 steps outside to get in the house, with 13 steps from the basement, 13 steps to go upstairs. We had a lot of steps. You can hear. I mean, I liked the house very much and liked the neighbors a lot, but it was just too many steps, and we couldn't. Well, he likes to grow vegetables, and I like to grow plants. We couldn't really do either. So we found this house in Delaware that I fell in love with, and we've been here for 18 years. We both really like Delaware. It is a big house. I have a studio, and he's downstairs. He likes being downstairs where there's a bathroom, and it's really comfortable. It's a big room. It's just, Delaware is a very quiet state. It's not, the schools are supposed to not be very good, but our kids are grown up. There's shopping all over, and there are a lot of people-owned restaurants. Especially now, there are a number right now of Arabic restaurants. Neat, really neat. There's one that we've gone to a few times that's Turkish. It's really, really good. Their coffee is to die for. It's wonderful. And I think that's our story so far. Our dog does have cancer. She's with our daughter in Philly, and she's getting taken on walks. I could not take her on walks anymore because she's too strong, and she thinks that she's the queen of the dog world and no other dogs are allowed. So, and she has cancer. I probably just mentioned that. So she's weak. She's a German Shepherd who's going to be 16. She's got a little something else there that's probably helping her live a lot longer. We have an 18-year-old cat, and one who's 5 and one who's about 7. And okay, let's see if there are any. I wonder if there. I'm not getting the. Okay, I can't see who's on here. That's a shame.
Sounded pretty good, Jen.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm still on. He's telling me I sound good, but I can't get anybody on here, and there are usually people. Um, okay, I will tell you. You know, I told you before that I talk to spirits all the time. Um, oh, I'll tell you my. Okay. Um, okay. My father's family came from Germany and England. The English part originally was in Spain. Okay. So the German part, years ago when I had a reading, said, drink beer. Well, I happen to like beer. So I went, I think Friday, maybe, and I picked up some individual bottles of different kinds of beer that I wanted to try down here. One was strawberry shortcake, another one is root beer, and I don't know, there were a whole bunch of them. Well, there aren't a whole bunch. There were about 7. Yeah, chocolate stout, and ones like that. So in the car, I said to my great grandmother, who actually emigrated from Berlin, I said, great grandmother, I bought beer. And she says, they're silly beers, Jane. Yes, they are. They are definitely silly beers. So, and I told her yesterday when I had the strawberry shortcake, which was wonderful. And I told her. She didn't say anything about that. Um, Thinking about the beers. Um, Let me think. I knew that Biden was not going to do any big thing like not have the inauguration. This is not related to our being married 60 years. This is just, I am an artist and I don't know why I can do this, but I can. So I can look and I can see President Biden is angry. He's really angry. He's also, he believes that the United States will pull together after 45 is done and will probably be okay. He is disgusted with people that they voted for a felon. Um, I mean, there are a lot of things wrong. I'll mention some in a minute. Um, Kamala is mad at Biden for not speaking up about the cheating, all the cheating that went on. But he didn't want to rock the boat. He felt that, well, there's been cheating other years, and it's, they can work it out so it doesn't happen next year. Okay, I am a Democrat, um, but what I think I want people to understand is the Democrats are not necessarily super liberal. Not. Um, I saw kids take over a street with their bikes and three-wheeled whatever they were for at least 10 or 15 minutes. They This was in Philly. If the government, the city government, couldn't give them a time and place to do their thing, which they deserved, it was illegal to be doing that on the street. So no, along that they should have been stopped. They've been doing it in the park behind our house, ruining the ground. they should be stopped. When people run in and steal stuff and run out, they should be arrested. People should have been arrested when they had the insurrection. When you break the law, you get arrested. You pay the price. I can't think of what else. Stealing, lots of stuff. I just don't agree. Do I agree with getting rid of picking up people and sending them to just any country because they can't stay in the United States since they're not citizens? No. I think each case has to be divided. It has to be carefully thought through. We do need people. That nobody wants to do the crappy jobs that they do. So I don't know what the what the real reason is. And I mean, there are people who are such hard workers, like from Haiti. They're really wonderful, and a lot of the nurses that my husband has have been from Kenya. And one of the nurse practitioners that I have is from Nigeria, which is my favorite African country because I have a lot of Nigerian DNA. She wanted to know what part of Nigeria, and I don't know. They didn't tell me that. So anyhow, this is the end of this. This is our 60th anniversary chat. And if you have any questions, please write to me at SpiritsbyJaynee@gmail.com. If you want a reading, it's $80, but you can pay what you can afford. What else? Just if you have any questions, you can write it here, or if you have any statements, write it here. Oh, here's one thing. I can't get nobody wants to hear about dying. So this is what my guides told me. When you're ready to die, you just open your eyes and you're there. It's not a big deal. So it's nothing to worry about. Okay. I will see you all soon. I'm sorry I couldn't get your messages. I couldn't get your statements or anything right here, but